Now, how about them damn Celtics?
And we are back with another How About Them Celtics video. Sam and I are here recording on, what day is it?
Sunday.
November 3rd. We're talking about Perk and Sam. So I'm not even going to introduce it because it was you. So you can introduce it yourself.
So this morning I was going to get my coffee. And as I'm sitting in line, I go on the Celtics Reddit and I'm scrolling and I see this article from the US Sun shared. It says exclusive to the US Sun. Kicked out, Kendrick Perkins, quote unquote, banned from Boston Celtics banner rising in NBA opening night following quote unquote disrespectful comments. Perkins is still speaking out against the Celtics even after they won the title. This was posted on Wednesday. It's not exactly news, but no one in our community had really surfaced it yet. So I was like, whatever, I'll take the screenshot of something I find interesting from this and I'll share the link just because this has been an ongoing thing. If you remember around the parade and when the Celtics won, Scal was on his Sirius XM radio show and he was talking about this. And the relationship between Kendrick Perkins and the Celtics and the players in particular, in particular, is pretty sour. Like they do not mess with this guy. And it's probably for good reason. Perk has been notorious for going on First Take, NBA Today, the tip-off shows, and just trashing these guys' Sports Center. Any chance that he gets, he called Joe Mazzulla bird brain. He said that they should break up the Jays. The whole nine. He has taken shot after shot at the Celtics. Even after they won, he was saying the Knicks are the best team in the conference. But anyway, the article cites two sources that he had tried to get a spot at the historical opening night but was denied. The sources tell The Sun he was asking everyone to get a spot at TD Garden to be there for this moment in history and to try and soften up the relationship that is broken. One of the sources that works in the organization confirms to The Sun the requests were made in the weeks and until the day before opening night, and he tried to talk to people in the front office and see if some players could push to have him there, but no one accepted to do so. He's not welcome here. The tensions between him and the Celtics are very, very high. A lot of the players can't stand him anymore. He lost a lot of respect in Celtics Nation. So this is something that's been going on, and it shouldn't come as a surprise. Some of the stuff he said is nasty. The Missoula bird brain thing was fucking nuts. There's a little bit more in here, but initial thoughts, Jack. First of all, do we think this happened? Because Perk
Yes.
replied to my tweet
100%.
and said, first of all, he definitely thought I wrote the article because he said, sounds like, and then said, I never reached out, never asked to be at banner night. I'm paraphrasing because I don't have it right in front of me. But he refuted that this happened from the Sun.
Yeah, he said, sounds like you're wrong. This is completely false. I never had plans on attending banner night. I've never reached out to anyone in the Celtics organization about attending banner night. Happy Sunday. Carry the hell on. My roommates liked your response. Danny liked your response of basically not my source. Whatever, bro. Whatever, little bro. You do you. Which
well, no,
I thought
I mean, listen, like I was writing. I wrote a story for Celtics blog on this because I thought it was funny. I was like, oh, people don't know about this. Like, let me post it. And then Perk essentially gave me a statement. It's not up yet, but Perk essentially just gave me a statement. You're muted.
The crazy part is in your replies, some people are like, what did Perk do? Why isn't he loved? I'm like that tells me the difference between like a Celtics fan and an NBA fan. Because like I can understand people who are just like casually Celtics fans aren't watching First Take, they're not watching on Twitter. You know what I'm saying? So like I get it.
Yes.
But like anybody who is on Twitter, is an NBA wide fan, like watches these clips, Perk has done nothing but say break up the Jays, slander the Celtics, like change his tune. And he's been in there saying like
in the finals.
Exactly. And he has been like, oh yeah, you know, Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum proved something. Like, right, he's flip-flopped back and forth. So it hasn't been all negative, but like the flip-flopping is enough. And without a shadow of a doubt in my mind, I believe that he probably would not have been welcomed at banner night. Do I think that he was like banned? Maybe that word is too far, but he certainly would have been welcomed with open arms. Because you bet your ass KG and Paul Pierce saw all the stuff he's been saying. You bet your ass everybody in the Celtics organization, like you said, Scal definitely has seen. He's online. Perk's a bozo, man. Let me phrase. Perk is phenomenal at the lane he has carved out for himself, but you can't have that and also still be welcomed as a Celtics legend or whatever.
Very correct. And again, like I put that in my article, like this is his job. This is what he's supposed to do. But it's kind of insane that he thinks if this is true, what the Sun says, that he would be invited. And not only would he be invited, but if they put him on the big screen, that people would cheer for him. They would not cheer for him. This is from January 8th, 2022. Jaylen Brown completely took over this game with his first triple-double of his career, played a perfect game while Jason Tatum went 6 of 14 from the field. I've seen worse, personally. They got the win, though. Carry on. And Jason Tatum actually took the time to go on Twitter and reply to this, normalizing, uplifting one man without bringing another one down. JB played great. It's all right to leave it at that. I also include the clip of Perk calling Joe a bird brain, but my favorite one is from the playoffs last year, as the entire national media was in their whole Celtics smear bag. Kendrick Perkins, after the Indiana series. Not a single series did the Celtics sweep anyone. Shannon Sharp, Indiana. Oh, yeah, they just swept them. I'm sorry. They're supposed to sweep these guys. They were trying to discount the
Dude.
Celtics as unserious because they hadn't swept anybody right after they swept somebody.
Listen, man, like I said, he is a phenomenal Stephen A. Smith character. He's great at what he does. He's great at stirring up crap. He is great at making headlines. He's a phenomenal quote. I understand. I don't agree with. I get why they kept him over a guy like Zach Lowe, because that is what NBA sports media has devolved to. It is get a bunch of impressions, get a bunch of clips, get a bunch of views, because that's where the money is. The money is not in analytics and breaking down the game. And I mean, I miss Zach Lowe's podcast. I was a regular listener. I genuinely miss listening to his
I'm
podcast.
surprised he just didn't like put it up somewhere. Like all these other guys do after they go independent.
He's definitely waiting to like leverage or something. I don't know. It is what it is. I hope it's back soon. But Perk is phenomenal at the niche he's carved out for himself. But like I said, like you've outlined, you can't do both. And he's claiming that he doesn't care and didn't want to do both, blah, blah, blah. Like perhaps, and maybe there's even a miscommunication. Maybe it was he wasn't welcome there, but he didn't necessarily like try to come. You know what I'm saying? Like maybe he didn't even like, not that he didn't want to, maybe, but like he might not have done anything about it. But it's just weird, man. It's just a weird situation.
The crown jewel of this article from the Sun, they cited a player on the current roster for saying this: the hatchet won't be buried anytime soon, and the respect for him is below zero since those comments. And most of us don't even want to hear about him, as he said things that were not justified and that were bad, and felt like throwing shit at our faces, disrespecting our work and the whole organization. Who do you think this is? I had a lot of people in my replies and quotes speculating on who.
Where
might
is
have
this in
said
the Sun article?
In the Sun article, I can private chat it for you if you would like. Just so you have it.
The only person that I can visualize saying this is Jaylen Brown. That is the only person I can picture saying something this like aggressive. Like Derek White wouldn't do it. I don't think Tatum would do it. I don't think maybe Horford, but I don't think he would even do that privately. It just doesn't seem like his memo.
Jaylen was the one that everybody was like,
Jaylen seems the most obvious just with the way he has carried himself. Not that he is like an aggressive person, but he is wholly unafraid to speak his mind. And I mean, I think that's why a lot of fans and people respect him, etc. But that also makes him the most obvious choice to say something like this in a private setting where his name wouldn't have to be attached to it, even though I think he would also say it publicly.
Well, there's Greeny tweeted the video of him stay on that side to all the people that were hating on them last year. So
yeah,
I think it was Jaylen. I think this sounds like something Jaylen would say.
Yes,
and I think that this part of it gives this article a little bit of credibility.
Mm-hmm.
Listen, I think Perk might not have reached out. It would make sense for him not to reach out. It also would make sense for him to reach out because ESPN had the day off because TNT had the opening night games. Maybe he wanted to be there with his 08 teammates. But nonetheless, if he is like truly worrying about trying to get back into the Celtics games and in their good graces and curious to why he can't, it really is the hot dog sketch. I think you should leave. We're all trying to find a guy who did this. I mean, come on.
It is what it is. Like I said, if my money was somewhere, I would bet he wasn't trying desperately to get into the celebration, but he was also probably not very welcomed. Also, I don't think anybody else in the Celtics would use a hatchet metaphor other than Jaylen Brown. That is what did it for me. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, even burying the hatchet, which is a relatively like simple thing, just the hatchet won't be buried anytime soon. Blah blah blah. Like, disrespecting the whole. Like, we're not just. He said things that were not justified. Like, it just the way it was phrased sounds like Jaylen. But that's all I got. I think he's good at what he does. If he's actively trying to be welcome to the Celtics community, obviously that's not going to rock. But it's probably just a matter of they don't want him. He didn't try anything, and he is just on Twitter defending what he perceives to be a lie, even though I don't think it was necessarily a lie. I just think there is some like what's the word? Like, he's saying one thing, they're saying the other. Like, the Sun is saying like he wasn't welcomed, and he's saying yeah. Well, not even, but like the Sun is saying he's not welcome, and he's like, but I didn't try to be there. Which
well,
is like,
the Sun is
the
saying the Sun is also saying that he was very much trying to be welcome into many
then
relationships with the Celtics.
Sure. And maybe that's true. I don't know. It is what it is. I don't think he'll be welcome back after what he said, though. So, any final thoughts? Or that'll pretty much do it for you.
Big week for me in befriending the 2008 team. First, Doc Rivers becoming my best friend. Now, Perk, good friends.
Yeah, I don't know if that's the word I'd use. Appreciate y'all for tuning in. Let us know your thoughts down below in the comments. Make sure to subscribe here on YouTube as well as on Spotify and Apple for all our full pods. And I will let Sam take it out.
Yeah, thank you very much for listening and watching. Make sure you subscribe, leave a like, comment, tell us what you think of Big Perk. I'm sure you guys all love him. Make sure you hit the bell too, because Jack and I are here every single morning. You don't want to miss any of our daily uploads. Full pods drop Tuesday, Thursday, and Sunday. So that means there is one tomorrow for you. We also have game recaps morning after each game and other videos like this one in between to keep you up to date with all things Celtics. You can also find all pods and recaps on Spotify and Apple. So if you just want the audio versions of those, if you give us a follow, they'll go right to your feed. Leave a 5-star review. We would appreciate that very much. Email us hbtcpod@gmail.com. Jack and I go through your emails every single podcast. So that'll be happening tomorrow as we record this. So make sure you get them in. We love to hear from you guys. What do you think of the early season? hbtcpod@gmail.com. The socials are at How About Them C's. Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook's just the name of the pod. All streams are there. They're on YouTube. They're on Twitter. Jack's Twitter's at Jack's1NBA. Mine's at Sam LaFrance NBA. That's it for us.